Now, if you're a real estate investor and you want to cash out refi, that means take cash out so that you can take your equity out and reinvest it. This is good stuff. All right. But if you're residential, if you're trying to get a refinance to put yourself in a better financial position on your current loan to pay off the house faster, okay, folks, it doesn't work. You don't refi to save money. Refining costs you money. Let me show you just one way that it costs you money. In fact, I wish I had time to go over all 7 ways that refinancing makes the bank money. But here's one. Here's $350,000. Okay. And that's 6.25. All right. And usually people refinance after 5 to 7 years. So we're going to go down to 7 years. And in 7 years, this loan is paid off by $28,920.88. And has paid $126,000 in interest already. And as soon as they reach this point, the amount of money that is transferred on each payment that goes from paying a little more principal and a little less interest starts to pick up steam. So if you can see here, we go from 482 to 485 to 487 to 490. So the amount of money that's going to principal starts to pick up after 7 years, and the amount that is reduced from interest starts to go down faster. Okay. So when you're in a loan for 7 years, you're going to get flooded with offers to refi. Now, how many of you who have ever rented, your rent has gone down over the last 5 to 7 years? Anybody with rent going down? Have you ever heard of it? That the landlord is going to call you in 7 years and say, you know that rent you've been paying me for 7 years? It's about to go down. I'm going to give you a better deal. Anybody ever heard of that? Oh my goodness. Listen, folks, here's what's going on. The bank knows that if landlords do not lower the rent, why are bankers trying to lower our payment? Okay. Why are bankers trying to lower our payment? Because they'll lower the payment so they can make more in interest later. Oh, why else would they do it? Right? That's what they're in business for. They're in business to make money, not less money. Let me show you something here. So if you're offered this loan down here to 72 months, now you're at $321,000. All right. We're going to copy that. This is how much you owe now. And we're going to duplicate this tab. We're going to put in this much money that we owe. Okay. Because we're paid down to that much. All right. And now we're going to lower this to 3.25, but generally we get a brand new 30-year loan. Okay. So now we only owe $321,079.12. But guess what? There are closing costs on this, and they're usually around $10,000. But it doesn't change the payment by very much. Let me show you. If we take the $321,79.12 by 3.25, let me show you what that payment is. That payment is $1,397.36. But if we add 10,000 to this, it would be $331,000, 331,000. So we're going to change that to 331,000 now. To get back down to 321,000, we have to pay the $10,000 off first. So our payment at 321,000 is $1,397. So when we change this from $1,397, it goes to $1,440. All right, that looks better. $1,440, $1,397 for $1,440. So it's like $43 more. That way you don't have to take the $10,000 out of your pocket. You just roll it into the loan. It's just a few dollars more. Okay. So let's put the $10,000 on there because at 3.25%. Now we have to pay off the first $10,000 to get back down to our $321,000. All right. So I need you to watch this, folks. Be careful. Be careful. Watch this. I'm going down to our cumulative principal. And in the first year, while we're trying to pay off the $10,000 we rolled into the loan, we only pay off $6,628 of the fee in the first year. That's just the fee. That's the closing costs. And you've already paid $10,600 on the loan for the closing costs. You see, when you roll it into the mortgage, you're rolling a loan within the loan, a loan within the loan. So now you pay off the first $6,600. It costs you $10,000 to do it. Remember, we're trying to get back down to our $121,000 we had before we refinanced, before we paid the bank, already paid the bank over $125,000 in interest. And so now we finally pay back the $10,000. It takes 18 months at 3.25%, 18 months to pay off $10,000. And look how much interest, $15,991.31. Folks, this refinance didn't cost $10,000. It cost almost $26,000 just to pay off a $10,000 loan in 18 months. Is there any other circumstance? If your credit union said, we want to give you a loan, all right, here's a sale. We've got a sale going on. $10,000 loan, 18 months, and all we're going to charge you is $15,991.31 interest on that $10,000 loan. Would you ever sign up for that loan? People who refinanced did exactly this. If you borrow $10,000 and pay back $10,000 in interest, that interest rate is 100% all day long. If you pay back $15,000 interest on a $10,000 loan, that's 150%. This is how the banks get people with perfect credit to pay more in interest than payday loans. They're paying more in interest than payday loans, people with perfect credit, all because of refinancing to get a lower interest rate.
But Don has some valuable information that can contribute to the quality of a person's life. And it only costs you a few dollars. It's his book. Why not get that?
I'm going to go through the P.I.L.L method myself with some of my investment properties. So I'm going to link up with Don, and then I'm going to sit down with him, show him my investment portfolio, and see how I can eliminate interest.